Hello! Coming to you straight from the ScreenJunkies vault, which still would have been a good name for the Disney streaming service. Specifically calling it the ScreenJunkies vault.
Yes. I was just saying the ScreenJunkies
for us.
Yeah. This is Dan Murrell, I'm Roth, Cornet, Spencer Gilbert,
Hello.
Joe Starr, and we're going to talk about celebrity castings that almost were, but then weren't, but wouldn't have been interesting if they were. I think the number one in this, this was, and then it changed, Eric Stoltz. Back to the Future, I think, is like one of the most famous because it actually did happen.
It's on tape. Yeah.
It's on tape.
Super weird.
It's super weird.
There's
Exact same
also
scenes.
Stuart Townsend, wasn't he Aragorn before Viggo Mortensen came in?
He
like
was.
3
Yeah.
days before shooting.
Indeed.
Is there any footage of that?
There is because they shot a few scenes, but I don't think it's something that would ever be released.
It'd
I
be
think
interesting
they
to see.
saw him and they were like, he's too young.
He couldn't have walked in that door like that. You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about. When
Oh,
he's
in Two
just-
Towers?
Oh yeah.
I want to go to the Universal
That's how you
Vault.
walk through a door.
I want to see, because they've only ever really no sound scenes of Eric Stoltz in
Yeah,
Back to the Future.
yeah.
Like, I want to go see those scenes. Like,
Me too.
I want to see what the executives saw when they were just like, we're going to shoot on nights and weekends, and we're going to get Michael J. Fox, because
Yeah.
this is not working.
And we're going to renegotiate with NBC to make sure we can get him. That he must have taken. He had to be on some kind of speed because he was working. He was doing Family Ties during the day and then Back to the Future at night. So in Fringe, which is a television show that I highly recommend, there is in their universe it was Eric Stoltz. So all you have to do is go into a fictional Fringe world and you can see that movie.
There you go.
Yeah, we're going to talk about other ones. Charlie Sheen as Spider-Man.
I didn't know that.
What? Apparently, Sheen
been
tried to get the
awesome.
movie rights for the character in the 80s and pitched the idea to Orion, and they made Orion made Platoon and Silence of the Lambs, and he said, quote, I had an office at Orion at the time, and I brought them Spider-Man. I said, look, in a couple of years, I'll be too old to play Peter Parker. And they said, yeah. We're just thinking that cartoons are not the future. Comic books are not the future. And I said, but it's Spider-Man. I'm perfect. And they were like,
And then he jumped onto a wall to demonstrate it and just clung to it with sheer force of will.
all of these examples, by the way, are via Screen Rant, People Magazine, and We Got This Covered. Is the Charlie Sheen Spider-Man something everyone would like to see?
Well, if it was like a
80s
one-off, like 80s kind of Roger Corman-y thing that was made just as a spectacle, I mean, yeah, he's not. He might have been the right age to play Peter Parker, but he is not the right disposition to play Peter Parker. Then again, it turns out maybe neither is Tobey Maguire.
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
He's an actor, but I've never seen Charlie Sheen do innocent and boyish. You know.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that Tobey Maguire, or whatever his real personality is
Yeah.
or was, definitely captured the essence of the character on screen. Charlie Sheen never came off. He always came off like very seasoned.
More of a Venom.
Yes.
Closest I think he ever came was Red Dawn, but even that he's more just sad and put upon.
Yeah.
And not like great power.
Right.
Although I do picture this meeting and he is in the exact wardrobe and just face situation as Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It's just like in a couple of years, I'm perfect.
Drugs.
Dan Murrell,
Yeah.
tell us who Jack Black almost played.
Jack Black almost donned the green ring of the Green Lantern.
Wow. Oh,
The
that's a
power
great
ring.
mock-up.
Whoa, my Lord have mercy. Before 2011's Green Lantern hit the screen and slopped. I think that's flopped there. It's all right. I just like saying slopped. There was a comedic take to the character going around town, and a script by Hotel Transylvania's Robert Smigel.
That's the credit you use?
Come on, Conan. It's by Conan O'Brien's Robert
Triumph.
Smigel. Triumph.
SNL.
Yes. Anything.
Anything
whatever,
but.
It's fine. The Green Lantern ring would get sent to the wrong person. Black's Judd Plato, a reality TV star. Obviously, this leads to comedic hijinks. Black was very excited for the project, but the plug was ultimately pulled.
That sounds kind of fun.
I kind of like that.
I would definitely rather watch that than the Green Lantern we got.
Yeah.
That's
So it's
true.
kind of like a Galaxy Quest Green
Yeah.
Lantern where like the alien is just like, you do all these noble things.
Yeah.
I saw them on your
Reality TV
reality
show.
TV documentaries.
It's kind of like sounds sort of what they're doing with Shazam, in
little
the
bit.
way of just like I'm a superhero. Like
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would rather have that than the one that we got, but I think I'd rather have Shazam than that.
Oh, definitely.
Sure.
I just mean it's like this. We're now at a point where this is where we're going.
But you'd have Kyle Gass be like, "You can't throw away the ring. Come on, we gotta get chicks." Then cue montage.
You're making it less appealing. Here's one that I have super mixed feelings about, Joe Starr, because I love the current movie as is and would never want to see it be different, but I also want to see this version of it.
Oh, yeah. So the first choice for Eddie Valiant in Roger Rabbit was Harrison Ford, actually, but then he was way too expensive and would have been bad.
What's with this rabbit?
Get
God
the fuck
damn
out
it,
of my
Bunny.
house, rabbit. But
Get out of those cuffs.
Choice 2
What
was
are you doing with my wife?
choice 2 is Bill Murray, which would have been interesting. Apparently, the legend of the Bill Murray answering machine strikes here because they left a message asking him to do the movie and he just never got it, is the story. And so that's why he did not end up being Eddie Valiant, is because he didn't check his answering machine. I don't know if he would have been right for this.
Bob Hoskins was so perfect.
was so
man.
perfect.
Hoskins was
Yeah.
really, really
Reimagined.
perfect.
I love that movie.
Like Bill Murray, you look at him and you want to laugh. You're like laugh
and
at
he's
him.
playing it so straight, which allows the bunny to do his
Yeah.
work.
Right, Bob Hoskins has
Yeah.
that perfect like 40s
They would-
gruff
And
TI.
even when
I feel
Murray,
like he and Roger Rabbit would be fighting for dominance.
Right, who's
Yeah.
funnier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and even when Murray's
Right.
playing it straight, he's still like too funny to have an animated rabbit next to him. Like Steve Zissou is playing it straight, but everything he does is still really funny.
Well, if we want to envision this, just check out Space Jam, where he plays opposite a cartoon bunny.
True.
Yeah.
And it's not as magic, but it's a different movie.
You're right. That's the bright side. We do have everything.
Yeah.
But he regretted this so much he signed on to do Space Jam.
And
And
then
there's
he-
no reason why he's in
and-
that movie.
And then he just learned more regret.
Yeah.
Oh,
I want to see the
I think he
Harrison
doesn't
Ford
care.
version.
me too.
You bring me Goofy.
Get off my tunes. Yeah.
That actually might have been interesting.
Yeah.
Because if he had played right into his gruffiest... oh, my God.
What,
you
am I doing a Harrison
yeah,
Ford
you're
face? I'm
scaring the
sorry.
crap out of me.
He switched the wills.
It's just,
He switched it
man.
using invisible ink.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could see.
That I could see.
Or
Yeah.
you could play it like Decker from Blade Runner and just be
Yeah.
like real monotone and morose.
Yeah.
Just like smoking.
And the bunnies all... That's probably what they were thinking of.
Like Dip in the Rain.
This one I feel like would not have been a great fit. Spencer Gilbert.
Oh, Matt Dillon
Fiction.
as in Bruce Willis's role as Butch in Pulp Fiction. I don't know. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino. Apparently, there's a lot of shuffling around with the cast, and Willis wanted to play Travolta's part, but Travolta had already been cast, so he got to play Butch. But he had already promised the part to Matt Dillon. Apparently, I'm learning this as I read it. Dillon said he needed a night to consider the offer. But Tarantino, don't wait, because Tarantino cast Willis instantly.
Wow. That's like some
if you,
Shark Tank level stuff.
Yeah, if you don't want the part right after reading the
That
script,
is.
you're out. Yeah,
Mr. Wonderful.
He got Shark Tanked.
But that's...
I need an answer now.
I would feel that way, too.
Well, especially if like Bruce Willis is going to do this. If
Yeah.
you don't think about it.
Yeah.
Like it's now or never.
I mean, I feel bad, but that sounds like a very Tarantino answer. Just like, if you don't recognize the brains in my script, then I don't want you in my movie. But I think it was more the case of this is 1994, and Bruce Willis was at the height of Bruce Willisness. And I mean, no offense to Matt Dillon, but if you can get Bruce Willis in your movie, you're
gonna
gonna
put Bruce
take
Willis in
Bruce
your movie.
Willis.
Well, from what I've read, it actually might be Tarantino, the ego of Tarantino, very upset that, oh, you read this in one night and you weren't blown over? I don't want you in my movie if you don't think it's the best thing ever. So it really
Maybe
was.
so. This is also 1994 Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
who-
Yeah. Dillon would have been good in the role. I think Matt Dillon's like a super underrated actor.
He's a good actor. I
Yeah.
just think that Bruce Willis had... I don't know. I wouldn't have wanted... I would rather see that than see Bruce Willis in Travolta's role. Because I think that that's like the best marriage of other than Welcome Back Carter, of actor and character we've ever seen for Travolta.
Yeah. But yeah,
Or
I think
Face Off.
Dillon can play like a over the hill boxer and maybe bring just a
Wasn't he
smidge.
too young and hot then? Wasn't he
94,
still
wasn't
pretty-
Willis
wasn't
too
he-
old
Wasn't
then?
he still pretty sexy?
I don't know. We'll check the tape.
All right.
But I'm not mad at this.
Like,
I
this is
think
the
we win
era
either
of
way.
Wild Things, where he could still be like, look, you know what I mean? Still a little too sexy.
It's a different take on the character,
Yeah.
but I think it could still.
When are we
work.
going to do our SGU where we just talk about wild things? Because that's a weird movie.
It's a super weird movie, and right now.
Yeah.
No, but we should put a pin in that and return to it because I'd like to unpack that
Because
movie
Bill
with
Murray's
you.
in it, remember?
It's so weird because when you
Sorry.
unpack her plan, never mind.
Not a great
Don't
plan.
start me. Batman begins. Killian Murphy apparently was a front runner to play Bruce Wayne. He did not end up doing
Oh,
that.
wow,
He
I didn't
ended
know
up,
that.
yeah.
They put him in the old bat suit.
Yeah, they screen
Oh.
tested with the old Batman
one.
Forever one.
And he was alongside Heath Ledger, who obviously they both went on to play villains in the film. But Christian Bale obviously won the part. But Nolan cast them, well, we know that, Scarecrow and Joker, respectively. But Killian Murphy, Batman.
I could
Too boyish.
see
Too
it.
young.
You think so?
He's too
Yeah.
young.
I know he begins, but still.
Yeah. You have to really. I mean, he would have had to have bulked up
A
as
lot.
Christian Bale did.
Yeah.
I see him in the weird version that what's his face wanted to do with weird homeless Batman.
Aronofsky.
Yeah, I see him as Aronofsky's Batman,
Okay.
Yeah.
but not like the more traditional Batman story that Batman Begins was.
Movies that never happened that I'd like to see is every big studio Aronofsky film
Wolverine,
that they
yeah.
promised, and then he was like, "No, I don't take notes.
Yeah.
I just don't do
That
that."
would be an interesting festival to curate.
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston
Tom,
revealed,
baby.
But Tom baby. Before he was cast as Loki, he auditioned as Thor. They were always looking for a Loki as well, and the closer I got, they were like, "Yeah, you should play the bad guy." He even put on 18 pounds, I assume of muscle, not of just general body weight. Oh wow, look at that! Yeah, that's all
Just
kinds
do
of
it.
wrong.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I love
We
Tom
made the
Hiddleston,
right
but that's
move.
Chris
not.
Hemsworth walked into
Yeah.
the door, and they're like, "Oh, that's this guy."
Obviously.
Yeah, this guy physically
He looks
walked
like
out from
Swayze in
Asgard.
Point
Yeah.
Break.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
He looks
see-
like
let's
he
do
looks
it
like Swayze
again.
in Point Break
Yeah,
Live.
pull those pictures back.
He is a wonderful actor,
Yeah.
but this is not. No.
This was
No.
well. The thing is, Loki. He was so great as Loki and so beloved. I mean,
Sad-eyed
Loki was outshining Thor for the first
Yeah.
several films, and then of course now that's turned around. We like Thor.
Wow.
I think we do. I like Thor.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just wow at that.
Oh,
It's
wow,
like,
that, yeah.
it reminds me in the mid '90s. There was an SNL sketch where they held auditions for everyone to play Bill Clinton, and Farley comes in and has just put together, like really worked on it and is really knocking it out. And at the end of it, he's just like, "I'm not gonna get this, am I?" And they're like, "No, Chris."
Nope, moving on.
He's like, "Okay." Just shuffles out.
Aww.
I thought they did that with Tim Meadows.
Was it?
I
Okay,
think,
yeah,
I think
yeah,
Tim
it was
Meadows
Meadows.
sits down in the wig and he goes like, "My fellow man, I'm not gonna get this." Am I? They're like,
No,
"Nope." It's
Tim.
like,
Yeah,
okay.
you're right. You're right.
Fair enough. Almost Famous. Dan Murrell.
Almost Famous,
Could've
which
been.
I love. I love this movie. I didn't know this. Before Billy Crudup took on the role of Stillwater lead singer Russell Hammond, Brad Pitt was going to do it. I didn't know he shot a few scenes. I didn't know this. I've watched the movie many times. But
Wasn't he the
apparently
guitar
he-
player?
the
Was he the
guitarist?
guitarist, Dan?
You're right.
Jason Lee?
All right.
Was
I'm
lead
sorry.
singer of
You're right.
Stillwater?
Thank you for making
Sweetwater
it. You know what the sad
historians.
thing is? The comments are still going to
They've already
correct me.
happened.
They've
Yeah,
already
they've already
happened.
happened.
Yeah. This isn't
yes,
airing
I
for another 3
apologize.
weeks, and they're happening now.
He was strangely the front man, but also not the lead singer of Stillwater. The only time the guitarist
He's
has
on the
gotten
t-shirt.
credit
Yeah.
as being the lead. That's the only weird part. It's like the singer is always the guy that gets the credit, not the guitarist, right?
Or sometimes the guitarist gets as much credit, very
Right.
rarely, in cases of, for example, Duran Duran, and in which John Taylor was as popular as Simon Le Bon,
Right.
and in cases of, for
Zeppelin?
example, Zeppelin,
Slash.
in cases Slash, Guns
But
N' Roses,
has there
Slash
ever
and
been
Axl.
a case where the lead singer
Wasn't
is shrouded in
equally-
shadows
yeah,
like
no,
a
no.
like a
No.
bass
Okay,
player?
yeah, you're right. Like
I
like
mean,
the
John
most,
Popper is the face of Blues Traveler.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you could
anyone
argue like Gene Simmons is more identifiable than anyone else in that band.
That's
But
true.
he's the
Yeah,
singer.
but
He's the lead
they're-
singer,
No,
right?
he's not. Paul Stanley is.
Oh.
So
Oh, yeah, don't you talk to me
Kiss,
about
Kiss
doesn't
and Stillwater.
Kiss, Stillwater. But I mean, I would say like Slash is more popular than Axel, but Axel is equally famous.
Yeah, equally famous. Anyway, Brad Pitt
digress.
the role was apparently written with Brad Pitt in mind, and he dropped out due to creative differences. I did not know this. I'd never heard
Interesting.
about this.
Yeah. I think Billy Crudup was perfect in that role. I feel like that would have been a very different mentor-mentee dynamic. Like, what do you think?
Well, it's not. I didn't put it in the script, but Brad Pitt has gone on quote as also saying like he just realized like I just don't get this. I don't get this project, and felt like it just wasn't right. Which I don't know what there isn't to get, but
I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's
do you guys
really
like
good.
it?
Love it.
Yeah.
do.
But I feel like it just there was a sweetness to the dynamic between them. Which for some reason, I don't know why I feel this way, that if it had been Brad Pitt, it would have seemed more like, stop talking to
I'm
this
going to put
kid.
this out there. I know that Pitt has adopted 36 children, but I don't think I could ever buy Brad Pitt having like a warm relationship with a child on screen. So I don't know.
They didn't have a warm relationship, really, though. It was very confrontational till the end.
It was, but I think it was also, there was this feeling, and that's where it gets a little complicated. I feel like it was almost brotherly, where it was confrontational, but there was love there, and he was able to see his own faults through the eyes of this younger person, but and confront his own faults through those innocent eyes, you know?
Billy Crudup does work better though, because if Brad Pitt's on the roof screaming like "I am a golden god," it's
You're like, I mean, you really definitely are. That seems spot on.
Like it had to be a guy who was like obviously high on something to do that. Not that Billy Crudup, but Brad Pitt saying he's like,
You're just announcing the facts. Are we just
know.
stating
That's
facts
how he
right
wakes
now?
up.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, I'm short and
My middle
probably a
name's
little
William.
tubby. Yeah, like is that? Are we just stating things?
His real name's William?
No, mine is.
Oh, what?
My middle name.
Joe was stating a
middle
fact.
name.
I was saying
stating a
Brad Pitt
fact.
would be stating a fact.
I was playing that game.
Joe Bill Starr.
Yep.
Mario. Spencer.
Mario from Super Mario Brothers was gonna be Tom Hanks, America's Mario.
What?
They dumped him in favor of Bob Hoskins, which in this case I think was a good choice because Bob Hoskins is really good as Mario.
Hoskins
He really
is
is.
Yeah,
reaped the
he's
benefits
really,
of.
he's really stealing
It's
the
a
roles.
god awful movie, but I mean I don't know.
Tom Hanks was also at the time coming off some less than stellar box office performances. I think specifically they noted The Burbs was one that underperformed, and they were like, maybe he's not our guy.
Directed
Coming
by
off
Joe
of
Dante.
Bonfire of the Vanities. So yeah, this is Valley of the Hanks and Hoskins danced right in, coming off of Roger Rabbit.
I like the reality that at some point Tom Hanks and Bob Hoskins were bitter rivals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hoskins.
Did it again.
This would have been weird. You know what would have been weirder if he had almost been cast on the Super Mario Brothers Super Show instead of Captain Lou Albano
Oh yeah.
as the live action guy who introduces.
I wish I did a good Tom Hanks impression so we could do the song.
Is there a Tom Hanks impression?
No, it's just like being a
There's
guy.
an impression of
nice.
Tom Hanks being Woody.
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's his son, actually. It's like,
Right.
You are a toy. Like that's just him yelling. It's
Yeah.
not really a Tom Hanks impression.
Yep.
Colin Hanks could be a good Mario.
Yeah.
Or a good
Be a
Luigi.
good Luigi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a good Luigi.
father son
Luigi.
Luigi.
Yeah,
More of a
Yeah.
Luigi.
into that.
Yeah. Anyway,
Jack Black would have been a great Mario.
he would still be a great Mario.
He would still be a good Mario. I agree.
Like if they ever decide to
Mushroom
retread those waters. William H. Macy is our favorite actor. What role, Billy Business, did he almost have?
I don't know. I don't have the script in front of me, Roth.
God damn it.
I'm waiting with bated breath and holding in my farts for this this historic announcement.
Magic.
I know.
Oh, tell me.
He was going to be the voice of Marlin from Finding Nemo.
Okay.
I think
It's a little more
that's-
sad.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
You feel the
it's a
reality of like
gloomy-
I've lost
Yeah.
my son.
Because I feel like Albert Brooks is that sad, morose, like fearful, like that. You hear that voice and you associate that with the characters that he's played that invoke that. And then William H. Macy, I think you're just like, oh, I think the ocean's gonna die.
I do think it's interesting that they finished the movie with him and then they screened it for executives and they did not dig Macy. Like, there's a cut of this movie that exists with Macy as the voice.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure it's not fully animated.
I want to
can't-
see
it
that.
can't be.
I want to see how sad it is.
Yeah, because
would-
Albert Brooks, like, there's a
Yeah, it's probably
manic
like a
sadness.
Yeah.
Previs, yeah.
It's an energized
There's a
sadness.
hyperactive sadness to him, whereas William H. Macy is just sad.
Yeah, and especially, did you guys ever see Defending Your Life?
No.
See,
Seen
thank
parts of
you.
it.
William H. Macy?
No, with Albert Brooks.
Oh.
And
Julie
it's-
Haggerty, right?
Yeah, it's so great. Like, watch Defending. It's Meryl Streep and Albert Brooks. I think, did he direct it? Am I losing my mind? Thank you, JT. He directed it. Anyway, it's great. Basically, the idea of this movie is you die, you go to this place, and you have to review, and you have lawyers, and you have to defend your life to see if you can go on to like the next level of existence. And the whole thing that they're trying to do is assess how fearful you were acting in your life. Did you act from fear? Or did you act from courage? That's really the only question. Did you do the things that you wanted to do, or were you too afraid to try things? And so that's his whole character is about overcoming fear in movie after movie after movie after movie. And so I feel like it's just you hear his voice and you already know where you're at. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Cool.
I think Julie Haggerty was in Lost in America.
Huh?
Julie Haggerty, I think, was not in that
No,
movie.
yeah, it
She
was
in
Meryl
Lost in
Streep.
America.
Yeah. It was
I'm
Meryl
sorry,
Streep.
I have to correct myself on the air at this point just to stay ahead of the game.
Hey, you guys can correct me anytime. Gwyneth
Well,
Paltrow.
Roth, I'm sure you meant to say welcome back Cotter earlier, not Carter. There
yeah.
just was something in your throat.
God damn it.
We have to actually ourselves, or
Well,
it's all
actually-
the people are going to talk about.
But I knew you knew what you were talking about. You just had a slip of the
Call
tongue.
me old-fashioned, but I think punching a giant green anger rage monster in the throat once does not mean you're able to tactically overpower him.
Uh-oh, here we
That
go.
is a way
boy.
callback because
Yeah.
by the time this airs,
Yeah, this
that
airs
will have
6 months
been-
This could be
from
like
now.
Yeah.
forever from now. This could be July. We'll never know.
People can be like, Joe, really?
Why are people talking about William H. Macy and farting? I don't understand. Just go back to the archives. It's the one
You'll
about
figure it
Daredevil
out.
and Netflix being canceled, and you'll figure it out. It's like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, to see what we're referencing.
Follow the breadcrumbs.
The person that gets it is my favorite person. Gwyneth Paltrow, Dan Murrell, what'd she do?
Gwyneth Paltrow, she did a lot of things and continues to do a lot of things. However, she apparently
What did she
turned
not
down
do?
both the roles of Roller Girl. First of all, Roller Girl and Boogie Nights. She says, my grandfather, I was very close to him, and he was pretty conservative. I just thought, I can't be totally naked on screen. I'll kill my grandfather. So I didn't do it. So she turned down Roller Girl. That went to Heather Graham. That was like a
Which-
big career role for her.
For Heather Graham?
Yeah,
it
for Heather
was.
Graham, yeah.
And she also probably was a better fit for Roller Girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow went on to say, this was like a Howard Stern interview, I think, where she said this, that she watched the movie and she said Heather Graham was so great, I don't think I could have done better than that. So
And then she apparently was offered the role of Rose in Titanic, which she also said no to. When asked how she felt about turning down Titanic, she said, I look back at the choices I've made and I think, why the hell did I say yes to that, sliding doors, and no to that? Now, sliding doors is like a family thing. I get it, maybe. And, you look at the big picture and think there's a universal lesson here. What good is it to hold on to roles?
It's a very goop thing to say.
Yeah.
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 She also
There
turned
she
down
is.
Thor.
He also turned down Thor.
Gwyneth would not have made a good Thor.
I think,
Although Goop sells
I
a
think
Soul Stone.
Titanic is one of those things that's like neither one of them was the first choice, but it worked out perfectly.
It worked out great, yeah.
yeah, I believe Matthew McConaughey was the first choice for Leo's role.
There's a screen test with
I'm
somebody.
the king of the world.
Oh, Jeremy.
You want to go to a real party?
What's his name? Jeremy.
Billy Zane, you really need
Shoot.
to settle down.
There's this, they put out a screen test with his name's Jeremy something, and he was like a big what? Not Pippin. No.
Pippin in Titanic?
He was like one of those '90s Smolder guys where he had like the beard and everything.
Oh, I should
and he,
know this, and I
And he
don't.
auditioned for Billy. Help me find
Is
this.
it Jeremy London?
No, I don't think so. Shit.
Jeremy Sisto?
Oh,
Jeremy
wait,
Sisto,
wait,
maybe?
Jeremy
Jeremy
did he have
Irons.
a twin?
I don't know.
There was like a. Do you remember these? Okay, this is a terrible
Oh my
program at
God,
this point.
I should never have brought this up. I thought it was
we
going to
will
come to me,
return
and I
to
obviously
this.
didn't.
We will return to this. We will find the
Well,
Jeremy.
no, they're going to say it down there.
I
Unless
want to
we
know the
say
end
it.
of the story.
Anyway, it was a screen test.
Billy, type faster.
It was
I'm
a screen
trying.
test, and it came out, and he was doing the Jack character, and it was the scene with Rose where they're like I think it was the draw me like you draw my French girls, And it was so creepy. It was like, no, this would have been awful.
It
This
was Jeremy Sisto.
Jeremy Sisto. Okay,
All right.
Jeremy Sisto like did a
From
and it-
Clueless.
Yes.
Jeremy Sisto. Oh, yeah, that would
With
have
the
been
grunge,
horrible.
guy? Is he the
And-
grunge guy from Clueless?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of the
Wow.
grungy. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was so just like if they had gone that way, that movie would not have been the same. But it's just weird when you look at that as the people that turned things down or that passed over. Like somehow, even if it's an accident, it just happens. Because I think Kate and Leo were the two people that
Yeah.
like helped make that movie happen, just because of who they were.
They were
Their
destined.
chemistry.
They were destined for that. And
You
we're,
actually, sorry to interrupt, if you go on YouTube, you can find the screen test that Kate
Yeah.
Winslet did with Jeremy Sisto.
It's really
check that out.
it's like the Eric Stoltz thing. It's like looking into an
Such a
alternate
bad
future
idea.
and just
Ooh.
like
Yeah.
this would not have
Yeah.
worked.
And I apologize, of course, Jeremy Sisto from The Craft more than
Yes.
Clueless.
A fine actor.
Pardon me.
Fine actor, Jeremy
He's
Sisto.
equally from Clueless, sir. And he also is from the show that I really liked, where he played a dad.
Rizzoli and Isles.
No. God damn it. This has been
6 degrees from Kevin Bacon.
This has been 5 minutes of trying to remember things.
Welcome to Sisto Talk.
Sisto. That's the show.
Like, do you remember the show that he
Sisto.
did? And he was the dad in the suburbs.
We're not leaving here until we name his entire filmography.
Like,
So settle in.
it was such a funny show, and it was then canceled. You know what I'm talking
Franklin
about.
and Bash.
No.
I don't care if it's Christmas. I don't care if it's Earth Day, Flag Day. Whatever reason this pre-tape is going out, we're not leaving the studio until we recount Jeremy Sisto's career verbatim with no help. No IMDb.
Close
We're
that laptop, Roth.
remembering Sisto's entire career.
This is the worst.
This is Sisto Junkies universe.
God damn it.
I don't know what you're talking. He was on Law and Order. He was on Numbers.
Suburgatory.
Suburgatory. Yes.
God
Suburgatory.
damn it.
All
right.
Suburgatory
Full on
with
nailed it.
Jane
Sisto of
Levy.
a down right now.
Which was created by Emily Kapnick, who also created Emily's Reasons Why Not, starring Heather Graham, who was actually Roller Girl.
Yes! We did it! I don't know what we
Turned
did!
down by Gwyneth Paltrow, also turned down Titanic, which almost starred Jeremy Sisto.
Wow.
It's the circle of Hollywood
my
life,
God.
biatches. All right, now we're done. That's it.
All right.
We have to
Okay.
end this show right now.
Good night.
Our apologies to Jeremy Sisto.
Sisto Talk, who's a fine
I'm
actor,
lightheaded.
but also very creepy.
Stop the show, JTE. We're done.
JT, we're
Keep
done.
rolling.